So the new numbers just dropped right here in San Diego for November. So we're gonna dive into 4 of the numbers that are gonna give us a good tell on where the market is right now, kind of what could look forward to for buyers and sellers going into the new year. And there's a new chart that I haven't really used here. It's gonna give us a good idea of where's the demand. Are we higher than before? Are we lower than before? Before I'm talking, in all that crazy time when we mentioned on this channel, the frenzied market of 21, 22, parts of 2023, what we saw a wildly different market than we are right now. You're like, who's this guy? This is Cassidy. He's on our other relocation channel as well, but I got him on this video today. So I always mention
I might not say anything.
He's gonna be quiet the whole time, but we have our numbers right here. So we printed it out today. I'm gonna bring it up on screen too. We're gonna dive in. The first thing is gonna give us a good idea of how many homes are coming on the market. Are we seeing a ton more? Because this number has been super low over these past few years, which has driven a lot of that demand where there's not a ton of homes for buyers to see. Interest rates were a little bit lower, causing prices to go up because less homes, more buyers. What does that equal?
Competition.
Boom, nailed it. But as we jump into this, so I'll show you guys right here. This is the new listings from right now.
So you can see that we're kind of in that time frame every year where the number of new listings goes down. It's just our winter season, kind of during the holidays, kind of after kids go back to school in August and September. Our market tends to have less new listings every single year. And you can see that on this chart. And we're kind of heading in that same direction of where it's probably going to end or go as low as it was last year. The real question is next year, does it go back to the peak in 2024 or does it go back to the peak of say 2022 when we had a lot more new listings? And that's really the big question going into the next year is, are we going to see that increase in inventory?
And one thing that I did show you guys in a few videos in the past, I think it was the end of December. I'll bring up a thumbnail here if you want to go check that one out. But compared to last year to this year, during that time frame, there was double the number of homes pulled off the market. So last year there was 3,500 homes that were pulled off the market. This year there was 7,000 homes pulled off the market, meaning they were active, they were, sellers out there. They took them off the market likely to come back on in the new year. So I'd expect all of those homes that came off the market to start popping on in January, February, March. We're working with a lot of clients out there right now who are getting their homes prepped, getting them ready to put on during those time frames. So we see it with just people we're working with as well. Even if they are ready right now, it's probably not the ideal time to put it on as we're going into the holidays, as things are kind of slowing down. So for buyers out there, I'm assuming that we're gonna see more inventory next year. Maybe not up to our pre-levels of 2019 when that's like the normalized year. I think it was above like 5,500 where we peaked out. But somewhere in between, I think we will peak out a little bit above where we did in 2024, which is a really good thing for buyers. For sellers, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a ton of inventory where we're going into a heavy buyer's market. I think it will slide that way a little bit, where we do see a little bit more homes come on, but as interest rates drop a little bit more buyers. So there is still going to be some competition out there, but definitely not what we've seen over these past few years, unless interest rates go to like 3?
2. Just kidding.
They go there. We're off to the races again, guys.
Yeah. So next up, we're going to chat about the average percent up to list price. So is it higher or lower, and what the percentage is above list?
You nailed it. That was take 5 right there. But here's the chart. We're going to bring it up on the screen here. Over these past few years, you can see this peak right here where it was 2022. It was about 107% of list price.
Ouch.
That's crazy. That's if you go back, if you extend this chart back, like as far as it goes, it's never seen 107%. A lot of times San Diego, yeah, we're around 100%, sometimes a little bit above, sometimes a little bit below, but never that amount. That means homes were selling for well above list price. That means there was a ton of competition. That means there was a lot of buyers out there, not a ton of homes pushing those prices up. Right now sitting just shy of 98%. That means that the competition level has dropped a lot. So homes, not only are they sitting on the market, we'll show you in this next chart, a little bit longer, really good news for buyers, but prices are coming down a little bit. Now, if you're a seller out there and you want to sell your home and you're like, okay, I'm gonna put it on the market. A lot of times, if you were thinking with that mindset of the past few years, where first weekend you're gonna get a ton of offers, it's gonna go off the market. Well, typically towards the end of the year, that wouldn't happen anyways. especially right now as interest rates still sit somewhat elevated. So just having the mindset, yes, it could potentially sell for a little bit under list, or at least be open to those offers when buyers are writing them, because a lot of times they're educated, they know what's going on in the market, they know how long the home has been on the market, has it had any price reductions, and they could figure out, okay, well, I'm comfortable offering this amount, which might be a little bit less than your actual list price.
So the question going into New Year's, will this number go up? And we tend to see it go up a little bit going into the new year, but if we don't see it go up, if it stays kind of around that 98%, there might be some really good opportunity out there for buyers.
Now, average days on market. How long are homes, on average, sitting on the market? As we bring up the chart right here, you're gonna see we are creeping up, which is, once again, everything we're saying is good news for buyers. So if you have been looking for homes in these past few years, we even had clients who were looking during, the frenzy and the crazy time, got burnt out, bought somewhere else, ended up just living there for a few years, wanted to make their way back to San Diego. We were able to get them into a home this year. Competition wasn't as bad. It was just obviously a totally different market. So if you have been a buyer in the past, and yes, there's a few things, interest rates are a little bit higher, prices are a little bit higher, so you will have to contend with that. But going into the new year, the days on market is huge, because when we were looking at this chart, it went down to 2022. It got almost to 10 days on the market. Some homes were even less than that. I mean, a lot of homes were less than that. Yeah, that was like they'd come on Thursday, in contract by Monday. Some that were like sitting on the market for so long might make it to like the next Wednesday or Thursday, but a lot of that was negotiating back and forth, counter offers, all that kind of stuff. So during that time, yeah, we're not there. Right now, we are about just over 30 days on the market. So giving buyers a little bit time to breathe. And we've seen this number creeping up pretty much all of 2024, besides that initial drop coming down from like January till March, April. From there on, we've seen it creep back up.
And then for sellers, it's not the end of the world. It has creeped up, obviously, from that 10 days. But 2019, it was 40 plus days. So it is still a pretty quick turnaround when you're thinking about how long it's going to take to sell your house.
And one thing, the same thing as with the percent of list price, typically as we go to the new year, this will creep back down. Now, if it doesn't, if it still stays on this upward trend, once again, that's a big sign that the market is softening. We're heading a little bit more towards buyer's market, and sellers could expect a little bit longer market times and a little bit less for their home. Well, we're not seeing that right now. We're just kind of seeing the normal November peak. Stay tuned right here so you know what's going on every single week right here in San Diego.
This next chart shows demand, so it's showings per listing. And it doesn't take into consideration all showings. There is a program that we've been using for a few years now called Showing Time, where we can have agents schedule showings through this app, which means that as agents, we can track who's seeing the property, how long they're there, and all of that. So it's the data for this chart is coming from that app.
And so it's not taking into account all showings, right? It's just giving us a good trend. Are there more showings than there were in past? Are there less showings than we've had in the past? And right now it's actually trending up a little bit from kind of flattened out here for the past few months, and now we're ticking up a little bit. So what's that saying? There's a few more buyers out there, even towards this November timeframe. I wouldn't expect that we see more buyers coming on, into the market. As we're looking too, I was just looking at homes and neighborhoods and stuff this morning, and there's not a lot, seems like a lot compared to Novembers of the past, but there's a decent amount of homes on the market in these areas. And as I'm looking around, even in early December, they're pending. So it just goes to show you, yes, people are still buying and selling right now, even towards the end of the year. And that might be those showings went up as we came out of Thanksgiving. I expect them to go back down as we go towards the latter part of this month. But then you're going to see that pick up. So this is a good trend to see where are we going to go. If we see this shoot up to what we did a few years ago when it got, what did it say here? It got almost to, in 2021, it was showing nine showings per listing.
And it was more like 900 than it was 9.
Yeah. It was
insane.
It was a lot more. During this app, if we were going to show clients and we're like, okay, we need to get in, what time works for you? Give us a few times, because who knows if those times are available. And on this app, when we're scheduling for clients, we can see what gaps are in there. So we could see if there's a showing between 9 and 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, all the way going through the day. There was a very few gaps. There was like...
Or none.
Or none.
Yeah.
Some people were doing like 15-minute showings, right? So as a buyer, imagine going in there and it's like you have 15 minutes to go see the house. There's somebody knocking on the door literally in 15 minutes.
Or somebody else in there with
Or
you.
somebody else in there. Yeah, it was, let's just say we're not there right now, which is really good for buyers. And once again, sellers, there's still, like I said, there's more buyers coming out right now, and expect that to continue through the new year. So that's where we are with showings. And I'm Chris, and this is Cassidy, and we are a real estate crew right here in San Diego. And these next few months are going to be super important to know what's going on in the San Diego real estate market as we get into that spring market, which we keep talking about over these next few months, because we're going to keep dropping videos, keep you guys informed on what's going on. And if you are thinking about making the move, we got your back on making the move here in San Diego.